Okay, I want to do a quick explanation on what happens when we enter a heat wave. The United States right now is getting bombarded by high temperatures. There's something that is rarely discussed. I find very little conversation about it. So these plants will take sunlight and turn CO2 into sugars, water, and oxygen. And what happens is these guys, these leaf surfaces on both sides, they pick up temperature from the outside. So they get really warm in a heat wave. These will be baked when it's like 39 degrees outside. And these plants, they have a mechanism where they have a perfect operating temperature to do their photosynthesis. And that is between 15 and 30 degrees. And there are, of course, there's Arctic plants, alpines that do really well in cold climates. They will have a different operation range compared to a plant in a tropical or warm location. So the moment this leaf overheats, it goes into safe mode. And what I mean by that, it basically shuts down all the operations that it does during the day, the photosynthesis and all kinds of other things, the evaporation on the back. So it protects itself that way. It will go into a mode where it is not going to be functioning. So what you'll notice is if you're in the middle of a heat wave, let's say it's been going on for 3 or 4 days, everything feels congested, everything feels dirty. The air isn't being purified. Everything is sort of on alarm mode. People are feeling sick. The oxygen levels are going down. And science doesn't really talk about it, that these guys aren't working anymore. So when you have a heat wave, you have to sort of say, okay, I need to hydrate my plants. I need to look after them. I need to provide shade for them, whatever it may be. This fact that they stop working needs to be discussed more, because they're the safe mechanism, and if that mechanism isn't working because it's too hot, then it's going to be a perpetual decrease in Earth's health. It's going to get hotter and hotter, and these guys, if they're not working, we're in a lot of trouble, and I think everyone knows that. You need these plants going through the photosynthesis process. We need them in action. So there are certain plants that are a little bit immune to that. And one of those plants is bamboo. Bamboo has this very increased surface by having all these tiny leaves. And it also goes up in a shape like this, so that the root system is very well protected. So if we were to plant bamboo everywhere in the world, they are quite heat tolerant because they have such a large surface. They will still shut down, but they will still have certain areas on the stem of the bamboo that will still have 27 degrees, even though it's 37 outside. They'll have enough of a life there to keep on working. Bamboo is definitely one of the best plants that we have to our disposal to cover the earth with vegetation. A great plant to use. There is another scenario here, is that like these elephant ears, for example, are covering the earth completely, but we have so many rows and columns in our vegetable gardens where the sun can bake and reflect. Earth is quite dark. The sun rays will come down and go to the underbelly of these plants, and that's where they overheat the most. This has a better protection layer than this side. So if the heat comes from the bottom and gets here, this plant will shut down very quickly, a lot quicker as if it's just being hit by the top. Overstory canopies are really good. Everything is good to get this temperature down. So the next time you are in the middle of a heat wave, sort of pay attention how the plants aren't really giving you really nice clean oxygen. It's a wicked cycle that is, the longer the heat wave goes on, the more you're going to have this problem with dirty air and everything not working properly. This point needs to be presented more to the rest of the world, and the message needs to be spread that these plants have a shut-off button, and the shut-off button has to be extended so it doesn't go on, and these plants can do their job. And it's up to gardeners to make sure that these leaves still function even in heat waves. Very, very big point. So back to the earth being covered with vegetation. If the earth is covered with vegetation, this problem of plants shutting down and not doing the photosynthesis is minimized, and that needs to be pushed in the forefront. Shade is a great thing for these plants. Sunshine is a great thing, but too much sunshine is a huge problem. We have to pay attention to it for sure.